This is the first live back chats with Eddie
What's
and
up?
Brandino. We're going to answer these questions as if you're hanging out in the studio with us. And I asked for some questions. You guys didn't disappoint. This is a lot of scrolls on this computer, and I'm still seeing questions. So we're going to keep it swift and move through. We'll put timestamps so you could look at where your question was answered. Every week we're going to do this, so make sure to submit them. So let's get into it. Lewis asked, I just met with my doctor and have a herniated disc. Is this program still safe for me to do? What's the boring answer as our COO, as our legal protector?
Absolutely.
Damn, he's getting us locked up. we can't diagnose, prescribe, treat, blah, blah, blah. So legally, yeah. And ethically, we're not here. Herniated disc is a very light one, but we get some serious diagnoses brought to us, and we're like, hey, can you fix this? That's not what the point of this is, right? Mm-hmm. We're trying to reduce the chances of you having further dysfunction and breakdown and hopefully turn the corner towards healing of the tissue that can't heal. So the foundation of your low back is the most important factor of all of it. How well can it circulate and get blood flow? How well can it contract and not spasm and atrophy? That's where things go wrong, and that supports the ligaments that surround the entire spine, that prevent shifting and vertebrae damage. So long story short, get cleared by the doctor. Am I good for exercise? If you're in PT and you're all cleared for movement, then yeah, this is great to do. You're making back deposits because you have a back. Mm-hmm. We all should. So it is safe. If you hurt your back 3 weeks ago, then you're probably not cleared and you shouldn't be in here. You need to watch the videos and just go on walks. But yeah. So John then said, number 2, I'm always sore, so I don't know when to use my back extension machine. Advice on that would be great. So if you're living a life of 3 out of 10 pain always, you can't wait till you're at 0 out of 10 pain because you're going to wait your entire life. You're not going to be pain-free because rest has done everything it can do for you. Mm-hmm. If you've been resting for 2 years to finally have no more back pain, rest is never going to do that. So just treat your 3 out of 10 pain as your new baseline and be very observant as you train this program. You start to do back extension iso holds. Make sure that threshold of pain doesn't go up to 4 out of 10 and 5. Mm-hmm. So it's about relative symptoms, not absolute symptoms. You don't need to be completely pain-free to start.
Agreed.
So 3, Daniel said, does the program eventually get rid of sciatic pain? Let's give context. So I had 2 herniated discs. I had chronic back pain from that for about 2.5, almost 3 years. But I had tingling and sciatic symptoms of numbness and some pain on and off for like 3.5, 4 years in total. Even on the plane last month, we flew for 6 hours and we sprinted that morning. I texted you at 11 p.m. was like, Eddie, my whole hamstring is numb. Gone. And I had sciatic symptoms. It was gone the next day, though, because I have a low back foundation. That state of probably mushing down on my glutes all day in a weird posture, and my hamstrings got tight from the sprinting, whatever. I had symptoms still. So long story short, I mean, you had herniated disc, right?
Yeah, no, I had a pinched nerve, which was directly led to my sciatica. And I had that for about 3 years as well. So
the thing to focus on is the primary root issues. So it's like when nerves are doing well, you don't feel them. That's the goal, is to not feel nerves. So it's a weird thing to try to treat. You just focus on every relevant foundation that affects it, which is the spine's resilience. Get the spinal tissue as healthy as you can. Go to the glute, strengthen, squeeze it, and stretch it slowly over time. Go to the hamstring, the posterior chain of the leg. Strengthen it, squeeze it, stretch it over time, go all the way to the foot. We train the big toe, which you had drop foot. That can be affected all the way to there. So we train the whole path of the nerve and then train the spine and then very gentle nerve flossing where you can actually glide it through the tight spaces. But just know, sciatic is a secondary problem, so it's going to take you focusing on the primary issues, fixing that for years. And just look for improvement. Don't try to fix the sciatica. Try to fix every problem around your spine, hips, posterior chain that you can see. And it just takes time. It just takes time.
It definitely takes time.
And so, okay, Jack asked, Just wondering about getting started in the program. You suggest sticking to the exact workout. No needs to fit the likes of See Good Morning, anything else. Love your ideas. Hope to get started. Flare up today. Killing me. Hoping the long game is the way forward. So the guy who's sitting in a flare up today is asking if he should add more stuff to the program.
Exactly.
What do you think?
Probably not.
Jack, we love you.
We love
you.
But no.
Yes. Do the program. Absolutely. I get the question because I post things online that aren't in the program yet.
Absolutely.
And that's the fine line of spreading awareness and being proud of where I've built to, but also the honesty of the real route is so much slower and more boring than social media.
Yes.
And so just to give an example, See Good Morning is 2 things in one. It's your low back strength to actually at lockout and your hip mobility. Yep. We did See Good Morning today with dumbbells. So first, get your back extension progression mastered. Make sure iso holds are your bitch and is no problem and you can handle it forever. And then get your butterfly. We also did that today. Knees closer to ground and get your groin really solid and opened up and not sensitive. So, because See Good Morning is combining that.
Yeah.
People try to ask, can I get squats back in? See Good Morning's back in.
Everything leads up to what you want to do.
Yeah, it all does.
It all does.
And don't be anxious like you're missing out. Like if you're new to this stuff, split squats are going to kick your ass for a long time. And just find new ways to challenge yourself now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to worry about Jefferson curls, See Good Mornings. You need to worry about back extensions. You need to worry about your split squat and split squat holds. You need to worry about outer hip drop step. Especially if you're in a flare-up. Let's let it be different. Let's approach this different.
For real.
5, River said, do you train your chest at all while trying to fix your upper back posture? This is a great one, right? We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
If you do train it, how do you not make the upper cross syndrome worse? So upper cross syndrome is this idea that your shoulders have come in and you're really rounded, and it's the kind of the blanket idea. You train chest too much, you don't train back enough. So I became afraid to ever train chest, and I skipped chest for years, and I only did back, and I did some shoulders, and then I have shoulder issues, and I have collarbone issues. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so being fearful to train a muscle group because you have a postural alignment, it's intuitive, but it's not right.
Yes.
You skip your chest thinking, okay, I can't make it tighter. But when you skip and neglect a muscle group, it gets tighter.
Yep.
So it becomes sensitive. So we do train our chest.
We do.
What's the routine we do in just to explain to them we'll put it on screen, the warm-up before upper body days?
We do, I don't know exactly what they're called, but the stretches.
Smith curls,
the
right.
Smith curl stretches, and we literally stretch out our chest, our shoulders before we even.
But we superset it with flies.
And then, we superset with flies.
So we do a squeeze where we actually do the short range, purposely training chest. I never thought I would see the day. Because I'm like, I'm not a gym bro, right? I hate seeing myself do that. But then I'm like, not training the chest ever in your life is like never training the groin.
Yep.
It's like the groin of your shoulders.
Exactly.
So
that's
why
a conversation we had yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why I'm always still tight and hurting my collarbone. It's like because I never deliberately train it. So if you have this condition, your shoulders are forward and all this stuff, right? It's still better to squeeze and train intentionally in the right amount and then stretch it out to keep it desensitized and not getting sensitive and tight. So, yeah. Long story short, there's nothing wrong with training your chest.
Yes.
I was the functional trainer who would hate to do any of the gym bro stuff, but like we're saying, when you only train the functional stuff too, you run into issues.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
So, you need to train your chest. You need to stretch your chest.
As long as it doesn't compromise your back. And
right. Be smart about it.
Be smart about it.
Exactly. Okay, Patrick said, soon I'll be having surgery after more than a year of recovery without the results I was hoping for. I want to use LBA routine for recovery. Is this a good way of strengthening post-surgery? I'm assuming you weren't in the program. It sounds like you're new. I want to use LBA for recovery, so it seems like you're not familiar with what it is quite yet.
Yeah.
Is it good post-surgery? Our very first LBA member, Kyle, who's a professional soccer player, he came in right after having surgery not too long ago.
Yeah.
Prior. And once he got to a normal functioning state, he used this to pick up where traditional PT leaves off. Yeah, and it works out.
I think that's the biggest thing with surgery. Like, you go through their process, obviously, go through their PT, and then once that becomes stagnant, add in the LBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to jump straight into that because that leads. I don't think that's a good idea. So.
Yeah, and it will become stagnant because
100%.
The job of traditional medicine right now is to get your back good enough to walk and sit.
Yes, 100%.
And that's a pretty low level goal when you consider you get just a little inflamed because you get the flu, you grab something and tweak something, well, now standing and sitting is painful again. So it's like you need higher insurance than where they leave you off at, and it's not knocking the traditional stabilization stuff, but for sure, we can make mantras and keep this really simple. Is LBA for me? Do you have a spine?
Yes.
Then LBA is for you. So it's like, what if I had surgery? If you still have a spine, if they took out the whole thing, you got bigger problems than I can help you with. But for sure, now everyone's entry point is going to be different. You might have to start very slow. You might have to skip certain exercises.
Yep.
The point is just direct stimulus close or to the spine. So,
back deposits,
exactly, no matter how small. Good Grug. Do you have any videos where you explain the elephant walk in depth? Progression, everything around, perfect form, how you focus on it. We took elephant walk out of the program, so that's probably why he's asking, because we did have that video. So the reason we stopped doing elephant walks is because it is more of a test of your low back than it is a builder. Mm-hmm. So if you can't handle back extension reps yet, putting your back through range with muscular strength, you can't do that. Yeah. You're going to go lean forward and start to bend your legs.
There's no reason for you to do elephant walks.
Right. You're yanking on tissue that isn't strong enough with muscle contraction. Yep. So it's the biggest thing that I used to coach people at that flared them up, and I felt terrible as a coach. So we took it out. Yeah. It's not bad.
It's not.
It's just after you get to range of strength with your back extension. So
like now at my stage, elephant walks are great.
Yeah.
At my stage, 2 years into my injury, elephant walks were the worst thing ever.
Especially with your active sciatica.
Yeah.
So first the approach is building the back through tension before you even get range. We do have videos on it, but if you're still in that early stage, we don't even need to focus on that.
Don't recommend.
Yeah. Aminor 10 said, and also someone's going to be out there and been like, I had great results with it. Of course. Yeah, of course there's different things and people find results. We're just saying from like trying to shave down to the most common result that we've seen with the most often, most people, but there is no perfect blueprint for this stuff. So
100%.
Just for
everybody's back is different. Everybody's foundation is different. So.
Right. Amina said, I have bad leg pain from a pinched nerve. It's been 2 years. Is there any hope of that retracting? I feel hopeless. Worried that only surgery to shave the disc will relieve the nerve pressure. That's a real fear.
It is.
And that
was me.
Yeah. And it makes sense. The part I want to focus on of that message is I feel hopeless. You should have so much more optimistically to focus on than to feel helpless and hopeless about. So let's go through the possibilities here. You're either going to invest, you said it's been 2 years since you were hurt and you still have nerve pain from your pinched nerve. I'm assuming you haven't spent the past 2 years making steady deposits to your spine. If you have, then I apologize assuming that, but I'm assuming you haven't taken this approach anyways. There's going to be two options. If you still have sciatica right now, and you train your spine and make all the back deposits we talk about, you work on your outer hips and the glutes, and you start to strengthen it and open it up, and you work on the posterior range, everything we described, and you still have nerve pain after a year, the great news is if you do go get that surgery and they cut something out that big, your recovery time is going to be like that. Yeah. Because you did all the prehab to make yourself a monster, a monster with a chink in your armor that big. You fix that, now all the other pieces are ready for you.
Exactly.
And usually what ends up happening is people that do this stuff for 2 years, the symptoms get better anyways. So it's either you get better or that one problem doesn't get better, but everything else is better. And you get the quick surgery, and then you're great. Because the biggest fear isn't getting surgery. The biggest fear is getting surgery, and it doesn't help you long-term because you didn't fix the real problem. So.
And then you fall into a loop. So.
And then you get another what?
Surgery.
And now you in it.
Yeah.
And so we got a great name here. Cineroll. I love the Discord names. Some are inappropriate. They don't have filters on. I thought that they would have like a bot in Discord to block that.
But they like misword everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. They put in 8.
They're smart. Our members are smart. So.
Yeah. Nasty motherfuckers. Cineroll said, when training back extension holds, I feel my back can handle a much longer time than my hamstrings. I often tap out after a minute 40 double leg, 45 seconds single leg. What might be the cause aside from muscle balance? And how do we approach back extension so we don't get as much hamstring fatigue? Let's go through some facts of life with this one. You're going to get some hamstrings from this.
Oh, yeah.
So you will build your hamstrings. It's normal that you feel your hamstrings, and it could be a limiting factor. What did you say to Jordan earlier today, the biggest weakness you gained from your back injuries?
Your hamstrings are shot.
Yeah, for you, especially with sciatica.
Because I had sciatica. I had constant tingling and pain in my hamstring and then my leg and then my foot.
Causes inhibition where the musculature shuts down. Yeah. You have gamma motor neurons. When you have sciatic symptoms of pain, the nearby muscular tissue learns to freeze and stop, and it inhibits firing, so it shrinks. Yeah.
So by the time I got into back extension holds, I couldn't even hold it for 10 seconds, because one side was so weak and then the other side was so strong, it was completely imbalanced.
Of hamstrings. And so, one, you're going to feel the hamstrings. That's part of it. Two, a practical answer to be quick is just move the pad higher.
Yep.
If the pad's down by your thighs, you're doing Nordics, basically.
Definitely are.
If the pad is up to your chest, you're doing trap 3 raise. So where you put the pad will determine where you feel it. Put the pad high up on the stomach, and that should really help. So Jonas on Ring said, what are your thoughts on sleeping positions? There's so many recommendations out there, and no one seems to have an overlapping and final answer. So when you have a question like that, everyone has different opinions, different answers, and none of them seem to correlate, right? What does that probably lead us to thinking? It's the wrong question. Yeah. Everyone's guessing because there's no telling what sleeping position is best for people.
Yeah.
Because all of us have different bodies, mattresses, partners you're sleeping with.
Size.
Yeah. I sleep curled like a ball, like a cheese puff, like curled up. That's how I sleep. So I can't give you advice.
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
It is tough. And I never get advice on the relief tools because I just know I just suffered through it. I don't know I know a pillow between the legs can help.
Yeah.
Pillow underneath the legs and like maintaining a little back arch helps some people.
Yeah.
But the reason you're seeing so many answers that aren't lining up is because
nobody knows.
The thing to work on is your back. That sounds so insensitive.
But it's unfortunately it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna go through a process. Maybe try getting a different mattress. Maybe try the whole pillow.
Usually helps.
Firm helped me.
Yeah.
For me.
For most people, they do complain about
soft mattresses. If you think about you sleeping on a soft mattress, your whole spine is just sinking in. So, try a firm mattress. This is not like proper advice. Obviously, I'm not a pro, but
sue this man.
Firm mattress helped me. And then train your back.
Yeah, and because people are going to try to sell you the answer via mattress, and I don't think that's it. Honestly.
And there's a lot of good mattresses on Amazon for the low.
For sure.
There's no reason to pay thousands of dollars for a mattress when you could pay a couple $100 and have a good mattress. So
sure.
Do your research.
Do you think cycling is something someone with a herniated disc should avoid? At the moment, swimming is good for me. Do the program. And in the program, one of the biggest things is getting on the sled. So if you're anxious about cardio or strength cardio, start pushing the sled and realizing how you won't miss any other cardio for the next 6 months as you really learn how to go hard on that. Put like 40% of your weight on there, 30%, like a 45 and a 25 if you're about 180 pounds. And then do 10 minutes of it, push and pull. And the reason why I tell you this is because pushing the sled isn't just for the warm-up of your legs and cardio. It compresses your spine. As you push through your legs, it goes through the spine and pushes into the sled. You get little manageable compressions and releases of the spine. And that really is a conditioning tool for tolerance to compression load, which is important for the spine. It's not just decompression, it's building tolerance to compression. Not with 225 on your back to start.
Yeah.
So, but cycling, if you're leaning forward, always cycling, like the position of that may not really be great for right now. I'm not saying it's to demonize it, but yeah, I hardly miss running. I hardly run and miss cycling a lot. I mean, I get it. I really get it. Just find a way to appreciate this journey for right now. Swimming is, for some people, okay in the thick of it. But while you're in your low back rebuild, I would really focus on the sled.
Yeah.
Okay, L Miles, never had a proper diagnosis but my front right hip snaps. This has led me to believe that I have snapping hip syndrome. Same leg, a lot of soreness, numbing on my right IT band. I think I've had a similar thing right now. During the split squats, I experienced a sensation that led to numbing. Okay. My question is, snapping hip and irritation on the side. Is it advisable to do couch stretches, split squat, and other hip flexor work? So yeah, I have the same exact thing right now on my left hip flexor from sprinting way too hard, way too fast, and I basically irritated a nerve, the subcutaneous lateral femoral nerve on the front left of my thigh, and my entire thigh went numb. Then when I would go into a stretch, after irritating it, the fascia got all tight and weird. Every time I get in a couch stretch, it would wreck me. And so I was kind of stuck for a while. So while it's fresh on our brain, I do want to mention it. There's a certain stretch we did, try to put it on screen, where we stretched the fascia of the side of our leg, because he's mentioning his IT band feeling all numb. This may fall under the category of Band-Aid. Yeah. Because if you don't have a good back, I don't even want you stretching your back like crazy. But if you turn the outside of your ankle and stretch the whole side of your calf, side of your lower leg and thigh, and you can get a real intense fascia stretch all the way up to your glute and hip. And for me, that really helped that chronic snapping hip flexor type of pain. And also on top of that, keep training it in the short range, doing maybe gar hammer holds or raises, the hip flexor kick out if it's not painful. If you're getting a snap and click, you do need to stimulate the area. Just avoid the click if you can. And yeah, if stretching is painful, pause it. Yeah. So yeah, I've had that. It's not fun, but stimulate it. Don't stretch into pain. And I'll try to put that stretch on the screen. It was interesting to feel. Yeah. Let's keep it moving. Okay. Minoski, we're 12 in.
Yeah, we got 58.
We're about to hit a pace y'all have never seen before. It's almost 1 month I'm completing the program. Phenomenal. I have lower back pain and hip pain last week, but less. But this week, again, pain started. It was before. Jeez. Y'all got to really proofread, please, before we send these in, guys. Month into the program, low back pain, hip pain, less than before. Still doing the back extension hold, one leg hold. Should I keep doing it or wait a few days? Play the long game.
Yeah, for sure. Also listen to your body too.
Yeah, if you're in a little flare up right now, take it easy. But if you're in the first 3 months and you're like, hey, I'm getting better, but I'm still not perfect, what should I do? Don't ask the question. Just play the long game. Yeah, you're right where you should be. There is nothing wrong with this journey. It is not linear. You are going to feel better. Wow, this back stuff really works. Hit your first flare up. You're like, I'm suing low back ability. Oh my God. Then you get out of it and you realize, I exceeded my capacity. I did too much. Tissue tolerance, got it. Even better. You kind of forget and do something a little bit extreme. Try to go play sports again. Off for a week. It is not a straightforward journey, but the macro is better and better. Yeah. So you're good.
This journey is really about listening to your body and learning your body. So
understanding the communication that we've been masking just by more weight, more volume, harder volume, like calories in, calories out is another mindset example. Just input, output. It's like qualitative though. How's it feel? Yeah. Jordan Omega said, I started loading the back extensions and low back feels more sturdy. I was wondering what's a good rep target to signal to increase load. The reps that I like, so of course we focus on mastering your body weight for a long time.
Yep.
And I think it remains fruitful to do so. I've been still doing back extensions with no weight now all year, and I get a crazy pump and still get stronger. And I've done my body weight on my neck with back extensions before. So you can always do body weight. If you want to start loading the back extension, the first goal to go for is 25% of your body weight for 20 reps. For someone like my size, string bean, 180, that's an empty barbell, 45, for 20 reps. That is the low back weighted test. That will cook you.
Yeah.
The next level is half body weight for 10 reps. So that's 95 pounds, like 25s on each. If you do that for 10, that's really strong. And that's all I'll share before some crazy people start trying heavy ass shit. But take your time. You can start with dumbbells out in front to load. You should be a year into your journey if you're doing this with the barbell. But have you done barbell loaded back extension?
I did.
Why does it sound like it didn't go well?
It did, actually. It was a time where like my back was feeling really good and I was able to load the bar up. But I sent you a video actually, like, oh shit. Oh,
it was way too early. I remember.
Way too early.
Yeah, I remember.
And I don't know. I've realized, just like you, my body weight's sufficient enough for me to get a proper.
My boy was on an unintentional bulk.
Get a proper pump in my low back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm no rush for me.
Yeah,
no rush for me.
Yep. You learn how to make easy things hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. King Julian. On the website, you can fill out questions to enter the Nordic bench. Curious, if I don't win one, am I allowed to copy and paste my info every month until I win? Absolutely. Enter it every round. That's fine. If we catch your email, though, let me tell you something for the slick ones. If we catch you submitting the same thing 5 times in a round, it's more likely to make us ignore yours than to pick yours.
Yeah, give us some substance. Like,
yeah, give us some
sauce. If you need to send a video.
Send a video. That's also the cheat code. We're going to make that a thing.
Let me feel something.
Because we read these, and if I don't shed a tear, I don't even think about it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
No offense. I mean, there's a lot of good stories out there, but we got to.
When people submit the ones like, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Come
I
on.
respect it.
But there's somebody out here really struggling. There's a single mom or a single dad struggling right now, you know? So it's like, do it up. Send videos. Send something.
Yeah, and no discrimination to the people just dealing with a bad back. You don't have to fake a story of how crazy, and then we got stage 5 cancer and but you can resubmit.
Absolutely.
Just don't abuse it. We're leaving it open to the people. Please don't make us regret it. Nakiva said, I'm still in phase 1 of holding the hyperextensions, 30 seconds. I'm fine with that. 2 weeks ago, after 1 month of holding, I tried to do 40 seconds, and now my back is killing me. I'm now back to almost no pain, but afraid to do the holds again. Any advice? I already adjusted my machine, so it's high. Good. Okay, so you took some.
Step.
Now, look, I'm not sure how long you've been. Okay, 1 month of holding. Mm-hmm. So you're only a month in. Let's show the chart of tissue adaptation that occurs at different time frames. It can take 3 months just for even the most subtle change of tissue adaptation that's going to be relevant here. So the first thing you're building is just firing patterns. You're retraining the gamma motor neurons to fire but not spasm, to not be inhibited. So this is a neuromuscular drill for the first couple months. Maybe none of that means anything. It's a hoopla. But the main point to know is 1 month is such a short time frame. If you're at 30 seconds, that's a great deposit. If you did 30 seconds, you're good. 40 seconds flared you up, that is your current capacity level. You can't demand more than that. You're going to get a flare up. And so do less than you think for another 3-4 weeks. And when you go to do that 40-second hold, maybe use a little assistance and make it easier in a different way, and then get back to it. But a lot of these questions are just like fair questions, you know. But the time frame is just like all's fair in love and war, and in the first 3 months of LBA.
For sure.
After that, then we could be more strategic of like what should change.
Yep.
Mike of Economy, do you have ideas about long-term integrations with things like CrossFit, weightlifting, HIIT, cycling? Not in pain at the moment. For me, this is more about health and prevention of future disability. For sure. If you're good, if if your low back is not the biggest concern in your life right now, one, congratulations, we envy you, right? But if, not really, we're happy for you. But if the low back is not the number one topic in your life, maintaining it is so much easier than fixing it.
Yeah.
Just once a week, hit a great session of 3 sets of 30 body weight reps. Slow, intentional, fully decompress at the bottom, and then fully come up and recompress with strength. You just hit intra-spinal tissues between every vertebrae. That's longevity.
Or even if you...
Holds, too.
Yeah.
A second day a week.
Exactly what I was about to say. Or even if you start on holds. Like, those back deposits are... Most people don't understand how beneficial a hold is. You know, a 2-minute hold. So
we've only done holds the past 2 months.
2 months. And
right.
when we have done back extensions, we're so comfortable. Like it's not something that flares us up or hurts or anything like that. So holds. Trust in those holds, man.
Yeah, I would say
the holds.
If you're fitting it into your full program of other things and you're not injured,
start at the
twice
beginning.
a week, and then if you could, start with holds and then see how you do with reps.
Yeah.
And 1 session a week, you go for that 30 rep standard for a couple sets, and then the other day you go for that 2-minute standard, because the rounded back versus lockout are slightly different demands. Easy work.
Easy.
That's the foundation. Now, other stuff, side bending, the other things in the program, of course, continue that.
Yeah.
Do the rest of the program, but start there.
Yep.
Joe said, should other forms of weight training be discontinued when starting the program?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
This is a quick answer. Is your low back the biggest thing in your life right now? Yes, absolutely cut it. No, but it's getting there. Absolutely cut it. You don't really have back pain? Mess around all you want. What's the famous, I think it was Isaac Newton, that the more you mess around, the more you find out. Oh no, that was Einstein. Not six was the more you fuck around, the more you find out. You should stop for about 2-3 months and really embrace this as weight training. It is not rehab.
Yeah.
Take split squats. Go slow. You have to earn the right to push it hard. I say earn it as in your joint resilience, your hip flexor flexibility, your range. But these are exercises that are hard in the beginning for different reasons, but then you get very potent results of strength. So,
Agreed.
Embrace the new. Vin said, hey, I'm on my 2nd week of the program.
Congratulations.
Phenomenal.
Welcome to the club.
Phenomenal. I have muscle imbalances on my right upper back, low back pain, a lot of improvement in my low back. However, I'm feeling a lot of tightness in my upper and mid back, maybe more the next day after flow exercises. It's getting uncomfortable working at the desk. It gets tightly quickly. I don't know why I just had a stroke reading that. It was written perfectly well. I just got nervous. There was like weird periods and stuff, and don't look at it. No, it's okay.
No, don't let me look at it.
You're starting to have upper back symptoms as you went through the flow. It's a serious trap 3 raise is no joke. When you train that well, you could breathe too hard and catch a spasm because your whole mid back is involved. Everything that we do in this direction with pullover and trap 3 is all the postural stuff. So then when you're sitting in the chair, it's like after leg day. If you hit legs yesterday and you're going down the stairs today,
you're feeling it.
You might catch a buckle in the knee, right?
Yeah.
You hit trap 3 raise yesterday. Well, now the muscles that are trying to keep you from being like this are already fatigued, and it's straining. So this is, Vin, you're in the right process. You're on week 2. You're learning what your body can and can't do, and you're learning that you can't train that hard 3 days a week with the upper back. Maybe take 1 day out. Maybe only do 1 set of trap 3.
Yeah.
Only do body weight.
No weight.
Definitely should start no weight. Should I add mobility, stretching, heat pack? I would just look at not exceeding your capacity. I would take back a little bit.
Dial it down.
Yep. And if you want to add little wall pullovers, if it feels like it helps, cool. Hangs from the bar and active hangs that we do, you could do that. But I would dial it back a little bit. Okay, let's keep it flowing. Lamelli said, how can I get more blood flow to L4, L5, S1 to start healing my disc bulge and annular tear? Okay, so look, it's when it comes to disc bulges, it's not really a circulation thing. Like, you're not actually getting blood flow so much so to the disc wall. The annular tear, annulus fibrosis is the ring of cartilage. It's not actually cartilage. The ring of fiber around the disc nucleus. And when it bulges, the inside pops out. So you have a tear in the disc wall, and you're trying to help support the disc bulge. Don't worry about that, because that takes care of itself. Scar tissue forms on herniated disc on its own, always. Now, does it completely reabsorb and get back into place? That's where it can take time for different people. But how can you get more blood flow to your spine, the very small tissues, all the way up to that problem? Back extension isoholds. Do the program. It's all good. Ali said, I have pain connected with my inner left hip, flank, shoulder, neck. Do you have any idea what's causing this? The pain is intense spasms. No, I don't. It's too hard to, like, I'm just going to keep it real with you.
Yeah.
I'm not a guru, and people that would look at that and be like, hey, left hip pain, flank, shoulder, neck, like Doctor Who, they're guessing. Like, are you living with that pain always? Is it coming up during certain movements? We just need more, honestly. Yeah. So not a complete question. Give me a little bit more next time, and I'll try to help you with that. Keep active, be healthy overall, look for the clues, but I don't got enough with that. Sorry. Praveen said, in case of a flare-up, what are some things that should be doing immediately to manage the flare-up? Pain and tightness. Pray. Hey, it's hard to know how it's going to go, you know?
Yeah. A couple days ago, remember me?
Oh, this guy almost had a panic attack.
Yeah.
We're sitting in a chair. He said, wait, why's my back hurt? I'm like, what? He's like, no, why's my back hurt? I'm like, all right, what do you mean? What kind of hurts? Like,
and
see, I'm like, does it hurt a lot? No, not really. I'm like, okay, so you're just worried about what comes next.
Yeah.
You think you have a problem.
Yeah. So we definitely understand what you guys feel when you have flare-ups. So
he didn't even have a flare-up. He back squatted today, heavy weight, and seated good morning and sprinted. Yeah. So it's just things can come up, and you don't know always how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And then the PTSD of real flare-ups.
Yeah.
But once you could tell, oops, I overdid it, don't scratch the scab. Don't start stretching. Yeah. Don't start cranking on it and pulling the tissue, because then your back's going to be like, oh, you think we're kidding? Mm-hmm. You thought that was a spasm?
Let me give you this.
Boy, come here. And then you're going to be
give
like,
you this.
I need to stretch more. And you're going to end up in a back coma.
Yeah.
So get some magnesium glycinate likely. Take some relaxing stuff with that, maybe a little Epsom salt bath, all the things that make you feel good, at least mentally, holistically, lifestyle, inflammatory diet, chill out on it. Don't eat the junk, put down sugar for a day. And just try to be hydrated, live healthy, and see if it's after 2 days you have a real flare-up, keep walking, keep supporting the movement. It's not going to feel great. The one thing I do recommend most people trying to do, it sounds counterintuitive and crazy, and it doesn't work for everybody, but it's worked crazy for some people. When you are 3-4 days into a back flare-up and your back is constantly spazzed up in this tightness mechanism, get them on a light sled push where they're pushing through their legs, getting the gentle spinal compression through the spine at every step, and decompression as they let go. Something about that has disarmed people's flare-up immediately. Really? And they walk, me included, and they walk out of the gym good.
Wow.
And it goes from like an 8 out of 10 pain to a 2.
Wow.
Now, nothing structurally can fix that quick. So what was going on shows you flare-ups are a protective mechanism. It's like an alarm system. You tripped it off. Yeah. We're just trying to turn the alarm off. So rest helps, but sometimes a little evidence.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's iso hold for the shear force, or it could be sled push for the compressive force. So that's the best I got. I'm not a big fan of stretching crazy, though.
Never helps.
Nope. Carl said, I've been doing the program for a month. Newbie, welcome. Good to see you. Previously doing a yoga pose. Found great relief from it. It is only temporary. I needed it daily, but they helped me live pain-free. I stopped doing them to focus on LBA. Good job. But since had the pain flare up again. Have I just not progressed far enough to see meaningful benefit?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in the first month, so you are starting rewiring, reteaching. Tissue hasn't even come close to changing, which is okay. Like you said, did you say you had progress yet? Okay, he didn't say it had progress yet.
Yeah, I was gonna have progress yet.
So I don't know. But after a month, you're checking the boiling pot 2 minutes in, So how we doing, Mike? On the time thing, we're okay?
You're good. I just want to make sure you're still recording.
Word. Perfect.
Thank you.
We're flowing. All right.
While you're there, let me check the other one.
Yeah, you're good. Producer man, Mike. If you guys haven't seen the Fio Bros podcast, that is the setup we're in, and I was a guest.
Check it
First
out.
real life in-person podcast
Check
in
it
the
out.
studio.
You guys are good.
Now we're hijacking. Thank you. Yeah. Let's just give the shout out while we're here. Seriously, people believe in this mission so much. I wore the shirt on purpose.
Oh yeah.
The owners of this company are also owners of the CrossFit gym. When I was homeless little guy up in New York City, I left my job in Florida, drove here, and I knew I wanted to do this low back thing. And I had no gym, no equipment, and nowhere to train people, and nowhere to live.
Nothing.
And I kind of knew a guy, barely, who was following my journey and really believed in what I was doing. And he got me a back extension in his gym, let me sleep upstairs on the couch, and I started training people out the wazoo. From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., just hitting clients. Didn't even collect rent from me. And since then, we formed a connection like this. That was Mike. And, oh my God. Why did I just forget his name? Alex. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I get them mixed up
Run
all the
that
time,
back.
right? If I were the type to crop and edit, that would be when, but no. Yeah, Mike and Alex run this supplement company I have the shirt for, and Alex owns the gym, and they're friends that connected me with Mike.
Field Bros.
Yeah, there's so many Mikes. That's
Yeah.
why I'm getting confused. And
Great
so,
people, man.
yeah, Mike
Great
and
people.
Nick have this podcast set up, and they let us film here for free because they believe in the mission of this story getting out.
Yeah.
And so, by the people, for the people. It's a beautiful
real.
thing. So, that's who just crashed the podcast. Not a smooth shout out, but
It's a shout
it's
out.
real. Okay. Derica said, "Hey all, any reason to get the back extension bench over the back buddy strap?" I'm going to just answer it quick. You can't really do single leg on the back buddy strap, and that is a very important, unique benefit with the lateral resistance of your spine, the rotatorus muscle, and those kind of forces. You do get a difference on the machine. So if you have the choice, I think the machine is better. However, if money is a constraint, space is a constraint, traveling, the back buddy will do phenomenal. It does great for 2 legs. So yeah, it's up to you on that. Chris, hi Brendan. Hi Chris. For people like me, 10 years of pain, several failed attempts, find relevant help. It's a lot of us here. How do we fight severe mobility problems, protective movement patterns? Can I add small mobility elements from the program on top of the program? Some other stuff. Micro sessions of doing specific hip-oriented mobility mini drills, assuming the program itself does not cause any major issues. Semi-slippery slope. Check out the FAQs, and I answered, or ask Brendan to scroll up on this chat. Ask Brendan a question. I answered doing other rehab-based programs with this. I wouldn't lift like crazy and go strength training outside of this because most people are not mindful about it. But I do think we cover a lot of hip stuff and for mobility. And it's going to be a long game on that too. And I think if you did just this, you're getting a lot with the major functions of the hip and the rotation.
Yeah.
But if you want to do other stuff because you're really curious, just don't let it mess us up.
Yeah.
And keep the back out of it. And don't go into cat-cow and child poses and like these flexion-based and extension-based and mobility of the spine for right now because we're trying to build strength first as a foundation and tissue tolerance.
Strength before stretch.
Yeah. Yep. Squeeze and stretch, strength before stretch. So I think we got hip stuff, but if you want to do more, yeah. I'm not the gatekeeper. Zach, maybe I'll have to rewatch the videos. Oh my, this is the one that made me laugh. I'm not skipping any. Here we go. Maybe I have to rewatch the videos you post on YouTube, but I was wondering if you could talk about, is this program beneficial for anyone with any disc problem or potentially general low back pain? Did you just go to a barber shop and say, y'all cut hair? Do you guys cut hair? Yep, this is going to help with chronic low back pain that's solvable due to avoidance and fear.
It's
problems.
low back ability for a reason.
Yes, sir. You are in the right place.
100%.
We're going to build all the things that lead to chronic problems around disc issues. You may still have a disc bulge, but it won't mean much.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 2 upsetting months because you got rear-ended or whatever, right? But your low back chronic degradation doesn't need to exist. So, yep, the low back program is for low back pain. Mags, opinion on degenerative disc disease. Repeated herniations. They said the disc is getting flatter and should be diagnosed with DDD. Working your program, and I'm pain-free. We got a pain-free Mags in here. That's called the pain-free clap.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be our new thing.
DDD, too.
So, DDD, yeah. You're pain-free and you're doing great. Don't let these people slap shit on you. No DDD, this, that. It's not a problem to have dehydration of a disc that happens with time. There's a lot of stuff coming out that I'm not even getting into it. Rehydration has been shown with certain things like running and constant small compressions of the spine. It's weird and new, but even if not, degenerative disc disease is a blanket term of osteophytes on the vertebrae of the bone, of herniations, of shrinkage, maybe even stenosis. I don't know if they consider stenosis, but disc problems overall, repeatedly, and all these issues, they then tell you have a disease, which is like so lame because then you think it's something happening to you.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, that sounds scary. Well, what's my life going to be like in 5 years? Is it terminal? Is it progressive? What's going to happen to my spine?
Yep.
And it's like, let me not cheese on the podcast. Degenerative disc disease is not the root problem. My mom just called me. That's why I'm just like, I love when my mom calls me. Degenerative disc disease is a blanket term. It's not a disease. It's a artifact, and you're seeing breakdown that has occurred. Now, if you strength train the large muscles of the spine, you stimulate the tissues like the multifidus, the interspinalis, the longissimus, and the other deep spinal tissues, this will also help support the spine vertebrae themselves and the disc. You'll also get passive strengthening and support to the anterior longitudinal ligament, which is a long ligament along the front of the spine, just to give you all the blah, blah, blah about how much stuff is trainable and protective in the spine outside the disc. You work on those, that's why you're pain-free. You're doing great. It's very unlikely your disc problems will get worse than they were going to get because you have a better back. So what are my thoughts on DDD? I think it's a scarecrow, and it's an artifact. It's a effect, not a cause. What's the cause of your back problems? It's not DDD. The DDD is a effect. You have broken down. Right. Why? You don't get circulation. You don't get contraction. You lost range of motion. You're sensitive. So that's what we focus on. I'm holding the mic. I'm sorry. Grills. Hey, thanks for taking our questions. Anytime. Anytime that's not Tuesday through Sunday, only Mondays. I'm having so much trouble with the couch stretch. My rec fem is so tight on both sides. I'm using 4 yoga blocks and still cannot get my torso stacked. In addition, it's very hard to engage my glute when in this position. I was wondering if you could comment on possible causes and possible solutions. I feel like this could really help if I can unlock this. So yeah, a couple things. Reciprocal tightness. So basically, if you have a really weak bicep like I do, and it looks like I'm flexing a tat. I just had to show the squat. I'm sorry. If you want to stretch your tricep, but your biceps can barely even fire, it's hard to really get a great stretch unless you can. It's hard to get a great stretch of your bicep, unless you can really flex your tricep. If you lost the firing of your tricep, you're kind of just trying to put your bicep into the stretch position versus active strength. So for the hip flexor stretching, you're saying you're struggling to contract the glute. That's why we're trying to get that end range lockout with the back extension iso hold, because the stronger you can squeeze at the end and hold that position of your back extension, you're getting a stretch on the front side, which is the hip flexor. So if you're ever struggling to get the stretch on one side, get squeezing at the shortest range possible on the other side. That's one thing. If you're just super tight on that hip flexor too, I would probably go into that Cadorziani position, sitting on the heels.
Yeah.
And just start to stretch the quads that way before you lean back.
Yeah.
Damn, this is going to be an edited video. I've called out a lot of clips.
Yeah.
So let's put that on there. You're going to sit on the heels, and that's like a bilateral two-legged couch stretch without leaning back to start. And that may be a good place for now. But yeah, take some time on that and keep training the hip flexors, even if it's tight. Keep doing hip flexor kick out. Young traveling man, hey, I want to get your take on adding upper back work for someone with a horrible upper back kyphosis, meaning the big rounding of hunchback during the lower back issues, L4, L5 issues. Okay. Yeah, how long have you been in the program? How are you feeling with the pullover and trap 3? If you have serious rounding of the upper back, let's just take that in isolation. You may not need 10 different drills and exercises and T rotations and twists and opening up. It may help. But even just with the holds of the active hangs, getting the shoulders and lats and chest all opened up, getting that really great, and then pull over and then trap 3 raise to lock it in with strength, it's a long journey and it may not feel perfect at the start, but 4-6 months of the basics done over and over can really change your posture.
For sure.
You don't need a ton of drills. You need potent ones that you get to crazy levels at, and you might have to start really easy, like a trap 3 raise vertical almost, like that angle.
Yeah.
And a pullover long ways on the bench, not cross bench. And so, yeah, if you want to add some stuff to try, again, you guys are always welcome, but I don't think with upper back stuff you need to add a ton if it's just about kyphosis. Now, also, your lower back affects your upper back. So when you have upper back curvature issues, that could also be holding on because the low back lost lordosis or it's not rounding properly. So as you work on the hip flexors and pelvic tilt issues, that'll help with the rib cage and getting everything stacked. So just not an upper back guru. I haven't had the problem personally. So have you had upper back issues lasting?
No.
Yeah. A lot of people tend to do better after 6 months of it. If I think of something or see more that's needed, we'll add it. But get in the chat. Let's chat a little bit more. I'm curious how long you've been here. Hamoud HSH. We're on 29, by the way.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We're doing okay. 52. I just want to get Mike home.
Yeah.
He's waiting for us, but an hour is actually a pretty good time for this. Yeah. Sorry, you're hearing our process. You guys are on the hangout. Let's keep it going.
And then whatever's left, you could probably answer throughout the week, but it's all up to you.
You want to finish here?
No, I'm talking
at an hour.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you want to get Mike home.
Yeah.
Finish at an hour, and then whatever's left.
Let's see what we got. Okay, so, hey, Brendan, I want to know if low back injuries can cause weakness in one or both legs, and if iso holds is a good way to start. I'm having leg weakness over years, stuck in a cycle where I injure myself even if I try the basic exercise. 100%. Yeah, you could be having leg symptoms down the legs due to low back issues. Iso holds are a decent way to start. For some people, that can even be too much, and they should start omitting that and even just split squat holds and then trap 3 raise, because even trap 3 raise is a low back exercise. You can even do it without raising your arms.
It is.
You can be on the incline bench and literally just arch up and just hold with your chest on the bench, and that's like an iso hold for your mid back, including the low back. So just view it as I'm trying to teach my low back to contract and not spasm. I like the back extension iso hold. You might need the trap 3 raise hold. You could do the seated good morning hold that we've shown here.
Yep.
Literally just put your shoulders in front of your hips to some degree, flat back, and hold. Learning how much you can handle is up to you. So, yeah, you're in the right place, friend. That's where it starts. OG Ranga, I've been doing this program for about 2 months after injuring my middle left side of my back. The back extension has completely relieved me of any pain. Pain-free clap. That's a pain-free clap. However, the muscles and areas surrounding the injury ache and become tight. Is this a common symptom, and can I still progress as normal? 100%. So, tightness is a symptom. It could be a symptom of not training long range enough. That's possible. So stretching, maybe. especially if you found no pain and you're not sensitive. It's just a reaction of tightness. It could be involved with the fascia. It could be involved with a referral tightness, meaning your hips are tight and that's pulling on your back when you do stuff. So yeah, if you haven't gotten to back extension reps, that may help. Elephant walks may have a role here for opening things up. Just be very slow, because maybe the tightness is not about muscle length. Maybe it is about sensitivity or the nerves. So I've had achiness and tightness. We sit in a chair too much. We don't train the back extension, for a couple weeks. Stress, you get a little tight. We got into body weight Jefferson curls, really easy, or lightweight, starts to feel great again. Once you've built the low back foundation to handle deeper ranges, it's so much easier to address symptoms of tightness. But
you feel a lot more comfortable too.
Yeah, you're not afraid. So, yeah, I think you're on the right track. You're 2 months in.
For sure.
So, Roel, what's up? Just joined last week. L4, L5 herniated disc. Never have pain unless I get a flare-up. When I get a flare-up, it's bad. I get a really bad gait. Lasts about a week. I lift weights. Doesn't really bother me unless I go heavier than usual. Last flare-up was because I went a bit heavier doing bench press. Should I stop doing weights all around and focus just on the program? The lean gives me horrible pain, and I'm ready to get my life back. Thanks.
Yes.
What's your advice? Sounds like you know the answer.
You got to lay off the weights, man. There's no need to go heavier than you need to.
Yeah.
Life is about functionality. Like
First.
when you have a low back problem or a back problem, there's no need for you to stack up on weight and feel all big and bossy at the gym. Like, you're going to end up messing up your back, and then you're going to be set back. So,
yeah. And you know what's riskier than a really big problem is a building problem that's right under the surface, because you don't take it serious.
Yeah.
You don't take it serious till it's too late.
Yeah.
A lot of people with their low backs are like when the car check engine light goes on.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what does that mean? That was weird. Turns off. They're like, oh, okay, I'll just turn it off. They start hearing a noise. Oh, what was that noise? Turn up the music. It'll be all right. Yeah. Until your car starts grinding gears. And your back is, chronic. Yeah. It's not a flare-up anymore. Yeah. Now I have real back problems. Yeah. It's like, don't wait until the car blows up to take it to the shop.
Once a car blows up, man, it's downhill, man.
You're cooked.
It's downhill.
And that's when the people join of 10 years. How do I even start? The easiest thing is too hard for me. Where do I even? Yeah. You don't want to be in that sort of place. You know, a lot of people are, and they'll climb their way out, but it's a climb.
Yeah.
So take it serious now, and look, you can still train upper body. Just focus on the add-on essentials we're going to add, the dips and chin-ups and the other things that are going to not be so straining on your nervous system and spine and core.
Yeah.
Heavy weights. Make lightweight heavy.
For example, for us, we haven't benched in how long? I probably haven't touched a bench in 2 years. And we benched yesterday.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah. As strong as ever.
Strong as ever.
So that's just us. Samuel, hi. Curious to know whether a video dedicated to nerves will be out. We do have one on my YouTube, but it's not super thorough. If you search low back ability sciatica, there'll be a video that pops up. It's such a multifaceted one. I've kind of put it off out of perfectionism, I think, of wanting to cover everything, but we'll make an education module to be really, really good and explain, at least educating all the possible likely causes and all the low-hanging fruit of where to start and the time frames, and then the little bonus stuff on nerve flossing and gliding and the nerve-specific stuff you might need to add. So, yeah, we'll add something for that. Sean, can you give us some form tips and tricks on the back extension, especially for people over 6 foot? Having correct form is important. Amen, Sean.
For sure.
Lowbackability.com. You're in the program. Check out the video. Form tip, start flat back. Once you start getting to reps, you're going to start doing half hinge reps just to see how you handle a flat back with range of the hips. Then you start assisted little mini reps of your back rounding. And then the eventual goal for back extension, this is where a lot of physical therapists say don't do it, but it's because they don't know how to train skillfully people from the flat position to the rounded position. Mm-hmm. It's no good or bad. It's just steps.
Yeah.
So the good form, look, I just said the good form. There's no good or wrong form. The good form. So the end goal is to be able to tolerate a full inverted decompressed reps where your elbows are extending out and your upper back is opening up and you're decompressing the spine, and then you come back up, you can actually cow it. So you round on the way down, chin down, all the way inverted, then you chin up and try to extend on the way up. I like to do that sometimes, and then other times I'll just do the normal reps. So 34, cranky pineapple. Whoa. Brendan, I can only engage my back glute on the couch stretch if I externally rotate my back leg on the wall. Is this okay? I'm duck-footed. Yeah, that's okay. It might be tightness on the groin. If you're duck-footed and you can see your feet are set a certain way, that's reflective of hip stuff. So why can't your hips internally rotate? That could have to do with outer hip flexibility or inner hip flexibility. So look at the butterfly, look at the pigeon strength, and look at that and see. But okay, Chris D24, I play soccer, as did we, and I've been out for playing for about 6 months from 2 disc bulges in the low back. How do I go about returning to playing? I had been doing the program for about a month, felt a lot of progress, and then attempted to practice, and then I seized back up.
You have your answer, bro. You have your answer.
And I don't blame you, because when you go to PT, how long does PT rounds usually last?
8 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks.
12, yeah.
You know, so we get this idea that you can be fixed in 12 weeks. You ain't fixing You're not fixing nothing in 12 weeks. You're gonna feel better, but look, Chris, I don't think you said how old you are. You said you play soccer, and let's say D24, maybe you're 24 years old. You got time. Make this the year of becoming a different kind of athlete and working on all the things you never knew were weak links. And give yourself 3-4 months, juggle a little bit, probably. Maybe some light passes. But if you got out there and you got hurt, hit your standards first. Hit your back extension reps. Hit the 30 rep standard over months. So for sure,
you got your blueprint. So now you just have to hone into it, and use it. And once you get relief, don't feel like you have to go right into it.
And hit the quality standards on this stuff.
For sure.
Jamie said, I've been suffering with nerve problems in my low back area, specifically sacrum, which is the base of your spine, very, very low back. I've managed to free up several compressed nerves, but I still have one ache when I sit against something. Not burning, but a dull aching. I'm wondering what I could do to get rid of this. It's the only remaining problem that stops me from working. Thank you. Yeah, so sitting is interesting. You got very, very low nerve issues, and you're sitting down in the chair. Something to look at is, do you see you like rounding your tailbone underneath you, or is your tailbone kind of like upright? Are you tilting your pelvis? I'm not the posture guy to tell you how to sit. I'm saying learn what's sensitive. Can you cause a sensitivity by rounding, extending? If you sit and lean back, do you get sensitive? Is there anything in movement that you know hurts you? Because then you get to look at that and be like, okay, well, there's some opportunity for training potential. What's similar to that? I would have pain when I would go like this and lean back, which is considered extension intolerance. So that's why I do back extension iso hold still. And we did the seated good mornings, and I did a hold at the bottom of it, and I just build that strength. Again, even at work, you could try this. If you're feeling pretty good, but then you feel pain in the chair, maybe start your day or include 2-3 times a day a 2-minute hold here with a flat back, extended. Train the tissue all the way along, close to the sacrum as you can. Try the single leg reverse hyper. Get in the chat, ask about that. Someone will send that to you. Include that twice a week. Yeah, train the muscles near the sacrum for sure. Okay, let's keep it moving. Moots. Hello, everybody. Mild scoliosis. I have a bunch of bulged discs and osteophytes, which are bony growths on the edges of the vertebrae. 28 years old. Pain is occasional but manageable. Still didn't have serious injuries. My question is regarding muscle imbalance in low and mid back. Whenever I do an exercise that involves these muscles in a symmetrical way, I feel the pump only in the stronger side. For example, back extension iso hold. How can I address this imbalance and try to correct it? So we both felt that too.
Yeah.
The back extension iso hold, we only felt the left side contracting. We put out a video last week about a little fix. If you're on the back extension, you only feel the left side working, then try the single leg holds, one. And if you want to feel your right side, train the right leg in the machine, take the left leg out, and then put your left hand behind the back. And this is a little cool fix, has to do with the fascia line, but If you have your right leg training and you put your left leg back, you're going to really feel the right side of the back, which I used to not.
Yeah.
Aside from that little tip and trick, I would also look at relevant mobility and stuff down the glute to the calf even, and fascia tightness could be causing that as well. Yeah, we'll need to talk more about that, but try that out first. Carly asked, thoughts on the reverse hyper. You know that machine?
Yeah.
Where you're sitting on your two legs would swing back up?
Yep.
You ever tried it when you were hurt?
No.
Yeah.
Stayed away from
Too
that.
much momentum. In my opinion, it's a great exercise. People rave about it. People fix their back with it. But when you're really sensitive, like the levels of reverse hyper are hard,
intense.
really hard, impossible.
Yeah, there is no like build up.
Entry level.
Yeah,
right.
there is no build up because it's just a swing.
Right.
Even if you're just using your legs, that's still a swing. To somebody that has a very imbalanced back, that is not something I would recommend. So.
And I like the idea of down the line, maybe you do back extension and then you do reverse hyper, because back extension, your glutes are locked in, but your back moves. Yeah. Reverse hyper, your back is locked in, but your glutes and legs move. You hit it from the bottom up, you know?
I think once you hit all your standards and you feel comfortable doing that, go for it. But like if you're in the beginning of the journey,
things with momentum are a little tricky when you're sensitive.
Very tricky.
Marlene said, hi, Brendan. About walking backwards on the treadmill when it's turned off. It's so heavy in the gym, and I only get motion when I rest my low back onto the machine. That's how you should do it. Mm-hmm. Your back should be on the machine. Put a pad or put your hands, definitely do that. I cannot do it with only holding my hands on the sidebars. Too heavy. Exactly. Yeah, you're going to want to put it something you have to push against the machine. So put a pad, roll up a yoga mat, put your hands behind there for sure. We're on 40. LC Kohler. Brendan, what are good mental notes to have when pushing yourself, but you always seem to do too much, causing a flare-up? Get tattooed. Play the long game. Play the long game, for real. So today, for example, we squatted not that heavy. I think 245, and I was like, let me just do 275. And I thought, nope, see, this is exactly where it happens. I haven't back squatted in a while because of the hip thing I had. I've been doing lots of other leg stuff. I feel strong. But it's like, I felt blessed to do this today. I was like, well, let's see when it breaks down. Yep. And I was like, wait, let's not go until it fails. Let's do one less than I want to. Mm-hmm. That's been my mantra because I am the type to always do too much.
And I used to be that same guy. Yeah. And then
you learn enough.
You definitely learn.
So it's my thing is just to always save one in the tank, do one less than I would like to, and find the win in what was done. So
take your wins. There's no reason to push yourself to the max. You know, so take your wins, man.
100%. Okay, so next we are in. Do you get any pain or flare-ups on specific exercises currently? Did you surpass pre-injury strength resilience? How long did it take to rebuild? Yeah. So, look, I'll be completely transparent. My back's good. I don't have any back pain during any exercises. The things I've come across, mainly I've been stuck with other injuries that came from getting back into sprinting way too fast and hard. And I thought I had it all figured out, strength through length, train everything deep ranges, train the joints. But then I learned things about real structural balance, which is you have to train the short range and the long range. You have to squeeze and stretch. Yeah. I was only stretching my outer hip. I wasn't strength training it. I was only stretching my groin. I wasn't squeezing it. And I started getting all these injuries. I was only doing Nordics, deep knee flexion out in the outer range, but I was never squeezing my knee anymore because I was doing Nordics. And I got all these weird knick-knack injuries again. So that's what was plaguing me, and now I learned new things I added to this program to help with that. Yeah. But for my back, it's really good. I'd stopped doing back extensions for about 8 months because I had a tear in the back of my knee, a popliteal tear. And after taking 8 months off the back extension, I was getting achy. I didn't have an injury, but I was sitting in planes like, oh, damn, it's coming. And then after 4 or 5 months getting back on it, perfectly great. Haven't had a flare-up since last December. Like 2023.
I'm coming up on that.
Yeah, you're getting close. So no pain or flare-ups on anything. Sometimes I'd feel sensitive in like a back squat or certain things with the lockout strength of my back, but I did more iso holds, went back to the basics, which are really not basics. Loaded it, weighted back extension holds, and all good. So it took me about 3 years to get here, and then I had a year or two of building a business and oscillating. So, okay, Andy said, my 60-year-old brother has a L spine fusion, L spine herniation, bone spurs all up and down. Trying to convince him to do your program. Surgeons won't touch him. I'm worried the constant years of pain eventually convince him to do something stupid. Oh, geez. I don't think he has anything to lose with the program, but he's a hard-headed jackass. Any idea of how to get this ball rolling? Hey, man, we got a few options. You want to drop his address? We send some of our guys, ski masks, throw them in a van.
Load them up on the back extension.
I don't have money. Oh, you don't, but you do have the time for this back extension, though. So I need you to get on them. It's hard, man. It's hard to convince people who have been convinced they're hopeless because all the evidence has proved it to them.
Yeah.
You live in pain for so long and you listen to the experts.
That's true.
Second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion. Tried the voodoo guys, tried the holistic stuff. And everywhere it brought you back to, I'm going to have back pain for my whole life.
Yeah.
Then who am I? The 12th person? Like, hey, no, but look, it's different.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
To convince somebody. It's definitely tough to convince somebody. If they really want to get out of pain, this is a way.
It takes delusion, though.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely, if you've been living in it, it is a delusional thought that you'll one day be pain-free. And that's how it felt for me starting.
Same.
This dude was trying to get surgery. I was already low back ability. I'm like, bro, we grew up together.
Man. Calling this man, like, bro, I'm about to get surgery. I can't deal.
And I'm hitting with the multi-fitted. You got to get the gamma motor neurons. What about your gamma motor neurons? You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you? Ask your doctor about the gamma motor neurons. He's like, bro, I don't know what you're saying, but I can't live like this.
And that was a great point because I started asking my doctor about the program, and he's like, yo, that actually really makes sense. You know, I started talking to my PT therapist about it.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, no, that really makes sense. You should definitely give that a try. And I went through PT. I got stagnant. I started the low back ability program. Yeah. And look at me now.
Pain-free Eddie. Clap it up. Pain-free clapping. That's a pain-free clap. This was not about you. This is about Andy's brother.
It's not. So, but Andy, you can do it.
And his brother. That's the thing. It's how do you get somebody else? Hey, just show them a bunch of success stories. Go on our website. We just updated the success story page. If you click on the site, you don't even have to be a member yet. So you go lowbackability.com, click on the little menu drop-down bar, and you can read all these success stories from people 60 years old, 12 years old, multiple surgeries, car accident wrecks, surgeons getting the surgery. Surgeons going through the program, fixing their back. We got lots of different types. Yeah, elderly, young.
Yeah.
So
it works, man.
It's just show evidence and just be there as support. You can never force it, but just plant seeds of inspiration, and let's see, let's see with time. I do feel for you, and I'm sorry he's that low. Can't force it, though. That's what I've learned. Suleli, nice name. I'm wondering if any of these exercises have strengthened the muscles and tissue of the neck. A lot of pain, headaches. Yeah, so the neck stuff is where it's super sketch for me to answer because I've never had the issue.
Yeah.
And it's such a sensitive area. If you flare up your back, you might be uncomfortable for a few days walking. If you flare up your neck, you might be seeing double Brendans on the screen. So the only thing I've really tried to recommend to help is neck bridges, which is like the iso hold of the neck where you put your head against the wall and you gently raise up and hold. But even that, I'm wary to give advice if I haven't had it. So these exercises will help the contributing factors. Your upper back affects a lot, training the low traps and things that pull on the neck. Neck bridges I don't think are a bad idea, but just be extra slow with everything. Honestly, I can't say more ethically. All right, we're at 44. I say we pin it there, and we'll do the rest later.
Yeah.
Some good questions, y'all. I appreciate you guys on this. We got about 12 more we're going to answer a little bit later on, but this was it was good to just get a feel of what members are saying.
Yeah.
It is different reading it versus talking about it.
Yeah, even just texting it, I think you could get into more context and really explain things really well. So, yeah, this was nice.
Yeah, and just getting to reflect, like remembering our steps in the same thought, like, I was once also an idiot with my back and the way I thought I'd be good in 2 weeks. Let me get back to blah, blah, blah. And you're not an idiot. I'm sorry. You're just lost.
We all went through
We're all lost at one point. But, yeah, this is going to be a really cool thing to keep up. Back chat's number 1. We're going to post this up and put timestamps so you guys can flip through and see where your question was answered.
For
and
sure.
We'll open this up once a week.
Yeah.
So you can submit. So if yours weren't answered and you're on the bottom of the list, you're going to be first on the next time. And let's see how far we can take this.
Well, let's get it.
Cool. All right, y'all. Play the long game. Doing great. Hit us up if you need something. All right.